Hello there, viewers of Rwanda Television. We meet again on the Business Digest show. Thank you for being part of today's episode. My name is Dana Iriza. Let's have a quick look at what's coming up on today's episode. President Paul Kagame has called upon regional and local traders to capitalize on Rwanda's inland port that was unveiled this Monday in Kicukiro district, found in Kigali city. This port will positively tackle money and delay challenges as a border vision of one Africa market takes shape. Kigali Logistics Platform is an inland port constructed in Masaka sector of Kicukiro district. It is the first of its kind constructed in Africa and also the East African region. It was constructed by the government of Rwanda in partnership with Dubai Ports World. It has come as a solution since offloading and packing that took about 10 to 14 days. It will now take just 3 days. The port will provide customs services that were otherwise provided on shore ports, as explained by Fred Seka.
There were some documents called Bill of Loading that were used on shore ports, but now DP World will start providing these documents. A container will have all documents from here and reach Mombasa as simply transit for the container, then gets loaded on the ship and so forth. When it comes to imports of product, they will use the same bill of loading from Dubai or China till it reaches DP World. When a container comes and delays to return, there are charges in addition to the transportation. Those charges are going to be scrapped off. And as the loading and packing will be fast, it will also reduce the transportation cost on the container.
The facility is 19,600 square meters and is capable of receiving about 50 tons per day, 10 times more than Majerwa, which is 640 tons per year, servicing 50,000 containers as well. After being toured different areas of this inland port, President Paul Kagame lauded Dubai Ports World for their investment and also elaborated how this contributed to regional and continental development.
Rwanda is a member of the East African community and COMESA. The future of trade and integration on our continent is the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is already in force. Trading will commence in July next year. But trade agreements and economic policies won't have much impact without actual infrastructure. With the launch of this facility, Rwanda is doing its part to connect with the larger market of more than 1.2 billion consumers in Africa and beyond.
The head of Dubai World Global Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem explained that he was pleased with the investment in Rwanda, a country he portrayed as visionary and a facility that will open regional opportunities.
We see Rwanda, sir, as the gateway to the heart of Africa. This is what you created and this is what we're going to use. And we are very grateful for you to give us the opportunity. What is good about Rwanda for us is, first of all, a friendly government, a country that has governance, and a system that works, and then dedicated teams from the government. What you see here is not just for Rwanda. When we were telling people we will reach Central African Republic, we reach Burundi, Malawi, Congo, and of course Tanzania and Kenya.
The head of state also called upon traders and investors to take full advantage of the facility.
We want to challenge our business people and investors, starting with the industries located in this neighborhood and from the region and beyond, to make full use of this facility. There is no excuse not to pursue the vast opportunities available to us.
Construction activities for the Kigali logistics platform started in 2018 after an MOU by the government of Rwanda and the Dubai Port World. The facility employed 667 staff, 98% Rwandans. The first phase that was unveiled was $15 million. Phase 2 will consist of building cold rooms and other storage units, which will cost $35 million.
So we started the project at Viva La Ronda almost 9 years ago. We started here because there were ladies who were doing the embroidery. They had the skills of embroidery, but there were no structures to do any business. So that's how we started the project. Ibaba is the name of a traditional Rwandan design, who is the symbol of a wing. And while we were looking for a name for the company, Kinyarwanda is very complicated. There is a lot of letters, and Ibaba was the shortest, the easiest, and the symbol of the wing was a nice start for the cooperative. I had no interest in embroidery at the first time. It was only I came here just to help them with the design, just to try to modernize the style and the design, because they used to work with the nuns in the 70s, so the design were really updated. And so I came with, I'm a graphic designer, so I came with new design, and that's how we started. I came with design, and then I tried to adapt the design to the embroidery, which is not easy at the first. The challenges apart from bringing them to independence, is also the quality that we expect, because the markets are Europe and the United States, and they are very picky on the quality, which is normal. And here the challenges was, when it's not good enough, we have to redo it. It's not, we don't say, okay, it's okay. We just have to redo it. And for the embroidery, it was not a challenge on quality, because they had the skills of doing the quality. But for the sewing, the finished product has to be perfect. That's why we have people from Maison Haute Couture in France that comes here to train the ladies for the sewing, because if you do a nice embroidery that takes 20 days to do, and then the finished product is not good enough in quality, then it doesn't worth it. So that's why we work on every level of the production.
For me, it's the first time in Africa, and it was very exciting to learn how to sew from people, especially for Viva La Ronda. And when Veronique asked me to come, it was very exciting and a pleasure to have this experience, because it's amazing to learn from people in France. But with this woman, it's very different, and it's very special. And of course, there is a lot of potential.
Our cooperative helps us in our daily lives. We are mothers, we have children, so it helps us raise our children, pay for their school fees, even girls. Because we mixed with girls and mothers, it really helps us in our lives. The advice I would give to other women is to be fearless and work hard. They need to develop themselves and improve their livelihoods. That way, they can also hope for a bright future. In this profession of sewing, I got money and paid for my child. He graduated from high school. I advise other people who are in this profession to come together in cooperative and work to develop themselves. There needs to be a collaboration amongst women so that we can all develop and improve our lives.
We have a market here, but it's too small for us just to produce for Rwanda to hire more ladies. So the challenge was, and also to show what Rwanda is possible to do, and they can do very nice things, to show how we can produce really nice and quality thing in Africa if we teach them how to make it and the quality of level, the level of quality, then we can have the market outside and expand the market and have more clients. So at shorter term, we are starting to building a new building, a new cooperative that can have 100 ladies working for IBABA. So when we will have this building, then we will start training young ladies from the village and have more capacity of production. And the future will be to have, of course, more clients from outside. As I said, we already have clients from France, from Europe, and from...
The AFCTFA Private Sector Investment Financing Framework is a private sector-led initiative to boost industry capacity and take advantage of the liberalized Pan-African market. The initiative is envisaged to unlock $1 trillion in AFCFTA certified and accelerated investments. The sectors that are being focused on, the sectors that are going to be financed and invested on are infrastructure and industrialization. Why were these specific sectors chosen?
So they are not the only sectors. What we've done in developing the framework was to break the thing up, and then first we considered what we call the enablers. Because, for example, you cannot trade if there is no connectivity. So the first enabler is transport and connectivity, which considers projects like Cape Town to Cairo corridor, Djibouti to Senegal corridor, which will tend to open the continent for movement of goods and people. Then we have value addition, and value addition is adding value to raw materials and processing, which itself triggers industrialization. And then you will see that the third enabler is access to cheap power to industries, which then will trigger industrialization based on the green concept. So, and then of course the fourth pillar being the removal of non-tariff barriers. So we are focusing on these because we believe those four enablers will itself open up the opportunity areas, and there are several opportunity areas that we have identified, 7 of them, including feeding the people, which is agro, adding value to agri products, and agriculture is supposed to trigger about over $1 trillion investments on the continent. And then the next one has to do with the digital revolution, value addition, again clothing the people, housing the people, which relates to the mega cities developing in Africa. So it's not just infrastructure and value addition, it's the enablers and the opportunity areas.
The AFCFTA Private Sector Investment and Financing Framework to trigger mobilization of $1 trillion to finance investments in infrastructure and industrialization. The AFCFTA Private Sector Investment and Financing Framework is a key catalyst towards reducing the cost of doing business in liberalized trading regime, whilst eliminating tariff and non-tariff barriers is a key component of the scheme of things under the AFCFTA. Infrastructure and ancillary investment in logistics are key hurdles to be tackled head-on if the continent has to unlock benefits from the liberalized trading. Now, if you look at the discussions that were carried out in the meetings, there are a few measures that are going to be invented and when it comes to boosting capital that will attract foreign and domestic investments. Can you brief us a little bit on the measures?
So there are a number of measures, and in the breakout sessions, what we tried to do was to get feedback on the framework from people. The first thing that we are considering is to ensure that capital that finances projects in Africa does not work to the detriment of Africa. So, for example, a project will not be, remember we have a certification criteria under the framework. A project will not be certified if it leads to bloating public sector debt, because at the end of the day, bloating public sector debt will have a negative recourse to government. So that's one of the criteria. The other thing we are beginning to consider is how we create a pool of funds coming out of a group of lenders who control a total of 10 trillion funds, because $10 trillion under management. I mean, because without that, you cannot have people who can make, as it were, lend to this project that we are talking about.
The campaign brings together stakeholders from African and global private sector, development finance institutions, sovereign, the pension wealth funds, African governments, and key bilateral and multilateral development partners and relevant AUC organs.
But the second aspect of this conference has to do with the launch of the $1 trillion investment framework, which was actually proposed to the AU during the extraordinary summit in Niger. And the essence is to create a framework for a $1 trillion financing for various projects over the next 10 years. That is actually between now and the year 2030, which we consider as the first phase of the CFTA framework. But this is driven and entirely engineered by the private sector.
Now, thank you so much.
Many people see agriculture as if it is a dirty business, but in reality, this is where the money is. This is where the future is, because population in the world is increasing and they need food. And so, if we want money, we have to produce food where to feed the growing population. It's not like other businesses. Food is a must. It has got to the market. You have where to sell your food. So far, we have worked with 175 youths, and they are all happy. Over 7 of them are growing vegetables on their own. Others are still in the school, they are studying, and so they are in value addition, growing mushrooms, growing vegetables, doing beekeeping, and so it is a pleasant initiative, and so they are happy.
Partnered with Oxfam, and we work with smallholder farmers where we train them on mushroom growing, mushroom cooking, mushroom consumption, and marketing mushrooms. So today we came here with one of the farmers in one of our sites. They came here with mushroom substrates, fresh mushrooms, canned mushrooms, and mushroom samosas. So we came here to explain to the youth. They are young people we work with in Musanze, and they came here to explain how they go from mushrooms to samosas and canned mushrooms. So first of all, a mushroom business is not a business that takes you your whole time. So it's a business you can do and still do your own other stuff like farming, or if you own a little shop, you can still do that. So the youth for now has been very good, positively responding to the business, because they can still do other things on the side. They can still have like 2 wages per day. And doing mushrooms, they can still get that money. Like, you don't have to wait 3 months to get the money from your farming. They get money every 2 weeks, every 1 week they get money, so they can spend it in other things on the side while still doing their everyday job, everyday farming. I think first of all, for us, we look for youth who really are entrepreneur and who see the benefits of mushrooms into the health benefits of Rwandans. So if you are one of them and really want to know how you can do mushrooms as a business, you can call us or come to us. We explain to you, we train you, and we follow up with you. We market your business and we help you grow from 1 grow house to 10 grow houses. With the help of Oxfam, we can even let you have your whole site if you wanted to.
The policy was approved by the government of Rwanda in 2015, and the pilot phase kicked off in 2017. So from 2017, we'll be piloting this program to 2021. So now we are linking the TVET institutions with companies to support the youth acquire practical skills which are really complying with the labor market demand. So As you can see, we work with different companies and we have brought one of them here so that they can share their experience in being involved in the youth employability skills development. And we have also brought one of our apprentices to share her experience about the skills she acquired so that she can inspire her colleagues so that they can be involved in the apprenticeship training.
We started since 2005 with 16 farmers which are youth, and currently we are at 46 youth engaged in organic pineapple farming. Apart from farming, so the processing facility is helping a big number of youth in some activities during processing this pineapple. And by numbers, I can tell you that currently we work with 80 young persons in the processing activities in our facility.
That's all we had for you on today's segment, but before we sign out, I want to give a big thanks to our sponsors, Bank of Kigali. Business Weekly tips up next, and I'll see you all next week.